Hey, what is up, guys? Earned a Worm here again with another Iron Man action figure review. And today I'm going to be having a look at the SH Figuarts Iron Man Mark IV armor. And this armor is from Iron Man 2, and it's from that scene where he's sitting in the donut, eating donuts. And then he goes in the shop and talks with Nick Fury. And as you can see, I bought this without the packaging or the Hall of Armor piece. I just got it way cheaper that way. But I will take a second now and get everything out of this packaging so we can have a look at all of his accessories and then the figure itself. Okay, Iron Man's out of packaging and he stands about 6 1/8 inches tall. And for his accessories, you get these blast effects. You get 3 different sets, and they're the same blast effects that have came with nearly every SH Figuarts Iron Man armor. So if you collect SH Figuarts Iron Man armors, you have about 300 of these. He also comes with several sets of hands, pretty standard for SH Figuarts. You have the hands with the pegs on them to hold the blast effects. You got some high-fiving hands. And some Pepper Potts butt grabbing hands. And speaking of Pepper Potts, I wish SH Figuarts would make us a Pepper Potts. And also he has fisted hands on him already. You get these air brake flaps to put on the back. The ones on the back now are just flush with the figure. These ones will stick out. And you also get some for the back of his legs. You also get a couple different head sculpts. You get some Tony Stark head sculpts. They got kind of a crazy 5 o'clock shadow going on. And you get this one with glasses on. The paint on his goatee is not very good on this one. This side's pretty decent. Then this side is missing a bunch. So that is unfortunate. But cool that they threw in some extra head sculpts. And you will have to swap out the back of the head because this one does not have the back of the head. They also throw in a Tony Stark neck piece for when you use the Tony Stark heads. So his whole neck isn't metal. And last but not least, they throw you in a box of donuts. Now, these donuts are not removable. I wish they would have left a spot open in the box and gave you one donut that he could hold. But they are all glued down in the box. Still a neat accessory to have from a cool scene. Okay, so that's all for accessories. Now I want to compare him to the SH Figuarts Tony Stark figure and the SH Figuarts Mark III figure. When I purchased the Mark IV, I actually thought it was very similar to the Mark III. But having them side by side, I see that there are a lot of differences in the two armors. And one thing I wanted to see is if the head sculpts for the Mark IV will fit on the Tony Stark. And the answer is yes, they fit on the ball joint perfectly. So you can swap the heads between the Mark IV and the Tony Stark. Comparing the faces though, this is a little more pale. The paint's a little better on this one, and you don't have the seam on the side of the head where you have to split this to switch out the back of the head. But it is worth noting that you can swap that out. Okay, now on to the figure itself, and we basically just need to go over detail because we have seen a dozen of the SH Figuarts Iron Man figures now. They always do a great job on the sculpt. The paint's always good. Great articulation. This one is no different than any other one. Really solid figure all the way around. Here is where your air brake flaps will pop up off of. We'll put the other ones on there now. Also on the back of the legs here is where the other ones go. So there he is with all the air brake panels sticking out, and that's just a nice little touch having that like that, especially if you're going to have him in a flight pose when you display him. This suit of armor has a really big repulsor on it. It's got nice detail in there. I always like that they put a little clear plastic plate over it as well. Gives it a good 3-dimensional look. On articulation on this Iron Man, his head will look up that far, but at certain angles, you get some god-awful gappage going on. But he will look down that much. He can bury his chin into his chest. His shoulder pads are attached to the top of the shoulder, which I always like. So they move with the arm so they won't hinder anything. They may get caught here and there, but that is the best place to put them that I have ever seen on a figure. But the arm will also extend out at the shoulder to allow for a better range of motion. Then his arm will rotate all the way around, go out, There's also an upper bicep swivel. Good double bend at the elbow. Wrists are just on a ball joint, so you get a decent range of motion there. And again on this one, like a lot of the others, that little plate on the top of the hand has to be swapped out with the individual hands. You get a little ab crunch. He'll go back a little bit better than he goes forward. Forward really isn't much at all, but he will swivel there and rock side to side a little bit. The waist, he will go forward and back. Legs are on those joints that drop down some to allow for a little extra movement forward. Back, he does still kind of catch his iron butt, but he will swivel some at the hip as well. And then right at the upper thigh, there is a ball joint there, and it will rock in and out and swivel. Great double bend at the knee. He has those die-cast feet. They'll go forward, back, and they pivot in, but not out. And you have those pieces that drop down on the sides that kind of get in the way of the foot pivoting anyways. But he also does have toe articulation. It's pretty stiff on those die-cast feet, and it is kind of hard to work, but it is there. So there's the Iron Man Mark IV posed up with his donuts and his shades on, just like the movie. Very cool figure. Love the accessories you get with this one. But that is all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye for now.